Hey guys, Sean here. If you're like me, and you probably are like me, you're super curious, highly energetic, and you have so much time on your hands right now, given the current world crisis that we're all experiencing together. And maybe you thought, I would like to start a new hobby or learn something new. And if you take language learning, for example, there's so much stigma, in my opinion, from what I've seen and what I've witnessed in the classrooms that is really such a turnoff. And it's unfortunate because there's so many cool things about learning a language, and there are so many easy and free resources available to everybody, no matter where you are, what language you speak, what language you want to speak, and they're all available right here, right now, and I'm going to show you guys how to access them. So, without wasting any more time, let's get into it. Hey guys, so you thought about learning a language. You've looked at all of these offers, these programs, all of these apps, software, which I've used personally and I'm a super big fan of. But you're thinking maybe I don't want to spend any money on something that I don't really sure if I'm gonna continue it, or I'm not really sure I'm gonna put that much time, or maybe I don't even like it. So what I'm gonna show you guys today is how you can test out your, tolerance for learning a language. But I think tolerance is actually a bad word, because I'm gonna show you guys a super fun way, super easy way, and most importantly, it costs you nothing, just to get started with learning any language you want. This is completely universal. It doesn't matter what you're trying to learn. And this is something that I did. I still do. I've done this for years and years with German in particular, and I've also done it a little bit with Spanish, but German is my strongest language. And I've used all of these resources I'm going to show you today, all of these methods, and I still continue to listen to so much German music and turn each individual songs into sort of like mini lessons. So what I want to show you guys right off the bat is, how do you start this process? How can you streamline it? And how can you make it super easy, super fun, and start speaking a new language tomorrow if you're that committed? If you made it this far, thank you for watching. Please give a like, because that totally helps me, gauge what people actually want and what they're interested in, and if I'm actually doing a good job. I enjoy doing this. I'm super passionate about learning languages, and so I just wanted to share with an audience who hopefully is on the same page with me and agrees that language learning can be fun. If you don't think it can be fun, please stick around, because hopefully I'm going to prove you wrong with my quick little free guide onto how to use your smartphone or laptop to your advantage in learning any language you'd like. So let's get started. My passion for a very long time has actually been not just German music, German rap, but actually learning German through rap. And here's just some of the comments that people have left on my reaction videos. If you've been following my channel for the past couple of months, you'll see that that's pretty much primarily what my content has been. And you see these three super kind, super generous people just kind of saying, how impressed they were, or how nice it was, and that my German speaking was really good, which I think is totally is extremely flattering and a little bit over. They're being very kind, and this is like exactly the opposite of what I expected. I expected to post something, some videos of me, playing around with German music on YouTube, and people saying, "Oh, this sucks." I assumed the worst, but I'd have to say I was pleasantly surprised with these comments. And then, it really, at first, it made me think, I've been doing this for years, browsing content, browsing music, selecting songs, and picking apart the lyrics, grammar-wise, cadence-wise, and how to actually say those words correctly, and using those songs as kind of a reference on, am I saying it correctly? How can I use these words, and how does it make sense, in a sentence? And so the first step, I would say, is, of course, you have to find the song, right? There are so many things out there available, so many platforms. So there's really no excuse when you say, I don't know what song I should find. You know what I mean? I'm going to show you in a second how to find exactly what you're looking for. And then secondly, there's so many available tools to help you pick apart those lyrics and then make them into sort of a mini lesson yourself. And then thirdly, review and rehearse, and of course, sing along. You have to sing along, you have to have fun, do it alone, no pressure, and just have, of course, have absolutely as much fun as you can with it. So guys, as far as finding a song goes, I personally like Spotify because they make it really easy to find top songs in a specific country. If you actually go into the charts section, you can see that they organize it by country. So for me, I really like to go and check every once in a while what songs are really popular in Germany. And you'll see there are a lot of American songs popular in other countries, but for the most part, the charts are filled with the native songs. And then try to find, and if maybe that doesn't suit you because a lot of those songs are usually pop or hip hop, that's what's really mainstream right now. And so if that doesn't really, you don't really like the songs that you hear, go ahead and pick a genre and just Google, whatever, Chinese rock or Italian rap, something like that, and you'll get a list of songs and artists. And of course, for today's purpose, I'm going to use YouTube to show you guys kind of how to do this really quick. That's my favorite if I have my computer, just because I get the big screen, I can watch the video. There's a lot more visual reinforcement, and I'll talk a little bit about the visual reinforcement hopefully later in another video if you guys like this one. So we're going to go ahead and look at our tools. Once we find that song, we're going to use Genius, a language lexicon, and Anki. These are all apps that you can download onto your phone, onto your computer, and use essentially remotely wherever you like with an internet connection, right? So this song is brand new, just came out a couple of days ago, and I've pulled up the lyrics here on Genius. And Genius is great because it's kind of like it's a open source lyric transcription website where basically any song you can find regardless of the language on here, and it's maintained by the natives to whatever language that it's being composed in. So I'm gonna go ahead and play this. And basically your first goal should really just to be following along, right? And the reason why I like pop and the kind of these clubby songs is because they don't have a lot of words, and that's the most important thing. This song has a really good melody, a really good beat, it's got a good voice, it's got a really fun vibe to it, and the words are not too complicated. If you look at the entire song, you see it's a very, very short in terms of what he's saying. So it's really easy to pick apart. You're only going to get about 100 words in here total, and that's a really good start, especially if you've never even attempted to read or speak in another language. So this one, I think this part here is probably the meatiest, includes the most content, is diverse in terms of verbs, nouns, and adjectives. So let's make sure we get there. So you can see he's just throwing out a couple of quick phrases, and these are actually really common phrases in German. I'm going to show you guys a little later and post some links on how can you determine what words are actually common and are used the most in a language. We're gonna use our lexicons to determine that. But he's throwing out, these are very, very basic phrases. He's saying, "Come with me. Tell me, what do you have? What do you have left this tonight? What do you have left to lose? Do you know? Don't you know what I want? Come with me." And then he said, "Tell me, what do you have left to lose?" Again, and so he's really using simple verbs, simple phrases, because the actual words are not the focus of the song. It's more of kind of to convey a certain mood or feeling, which you really want to find songs like this. And then once you find your song, you're going to go back into a Word document. Like I said, Genius really has to be your best friend here because it has so many songs, current and old, the lyrics, and it also explains some of the lyrics. Usually they're in the native language, so it's hard to pick apart. But your main focus is that you can really follow along easily. Like I said, if you're on your smartphone, you can stream the song on Spotify and then have that be playing in the background while you're reading along with the lyrics. And so once you do that, you're going to then use your dictionary or lexicon to look up what these words are. Now, all of this right here, what you're looking at, this is just the first page. This took me about, I would say, 20 to 30 minutes to do. Okay. Basically, what you're doing is you're picking apart every word, and maybe, I did the entire song. That's why it took me 30 minutes, right? So just give yourself 10 minutes and say, let's find 10 words that I want to learn, all right? Your favorite part. Maybe just start with the chorus, right? The part that's most fun to sing or most interesting. And then what you're going to do is you're going to record these words, right? Exactly how they're written. Label them so you know what parts of speech they are. And then you're going to take your lexicon or your dictionary. And what this is, and I'm going to post some links below, is just something that it's a database. And these are really great online, right? I don't recommend buying an actual book. You can if you want, if you want to do it remotely. But if you go online, there's so many resources that you can use for all languages that describes, well, first of all, it translates, it defines the word, and then it tells you how it's used. It uses in a sentence, and how often it's used as well. Like I said, learning frequency. They say that if you know the first 2,000 words of any language, you're fluent. 1,000 of those words are used 98% of the time. So you can really, and then of course once you get that vocabulary in your head, combining those words gives you the ability to use all types of sentences and express all types of feelings, descriptions, and just kind of stay alive, in a conversation. And what you're going to do is you're going to translate each word, right? So you're just going to translate each word. And as you see in this particular combination from German to English, blind, the inability to see is the same exact word. Now, there are a lot of words like that in many other languages that are exactly the same. And even some words that are just very similar, they might as well be the same. For instance, in German, water in German is Wasser, and it actually looks just like water on paper. And if you can learn those words first, you'll already build a good foundation, and you can snowball that into eventually learning those words that have nothing to do with the English translation or whatever language you're trying to translate. For instance, eigene and own, right? These don't look like or sound like each other at all. wach, like wake. Wach means awake. Some similarities there. And then, of course, jung means young, right? So you can see as you just make that first step, you'll see there are so many easy words to learn right off the bat. And that's the beauty of song, is because a lot of those words are being used in songs on a very frequent basis. And then from there, we're going to use our best friend Anki. And like I said, it's very important that you create your initial vocabulary list in a Word document. That way you can copy and paste your words into Anki, okay? It's very, very important, because Anki is an open source software that allows deck and card sharing, specifically made for language learners. What you can do is you can take any list of words. People have compiled already so many different words, so many lists, for instance, early vocabulary, intermediate and advanced vocabulary in many different languages. And you can download those for free and use them on your phone or your computer. But what I'm going to show you guys how to do is actually customize and make your own deck, so that way you can create mini lessons out of a song. So as you guys see, as I turn into the app interface, you can see the decks you can select. This is just a pre-made one with various vocabulary I had. And once you actually click on the word, you're ready to reveal the answer. You see at the bottom you have different color indicators that determine how well you knew the word. If you completely didn't know it, you would click red, and that would then put the guard back on top of the deck so you can review it again in 10 minutes. And as you progress, the increments and time in which you can re-review those words will lengthen, and it assumes that you've learned them. And then of course you have some data analytics in the back. You can see how many cards you have, how well you know them, and how many more you have to practice and to master. So I mean, I really love this tool, especially because it's free. They give you so much to play with. And then once you're ready to turn your song into your mini lesson, you're going to make your own deck like I'm doing here, and then you start to add your vocabulary based off of what you've already translated. And you can write anything you want. You could insert voice descriptions, pictures, plain text like I'm doing here, and then once you're done, you're ready to go, you can save it, and then you can begin learning. And you see, because these are new cards, the intervals are very small. You see 1 minute, 10 minute, 1 day, or 4 days. So say I'm clicking green now, I'll see these cards again tomorrow. And you can set those settings based on how often you want to review these cards. So if I'm just beginning, I'll go back tomorrow and I'll do it again, and those intervals will increase and increase until eventually, if you're doing this on a regular basis, you're going to stop seeing those cards, and eventually you're going to learn them. And then all you have to do is review, rehearse, and sing. It's so important to practice talking, right? Practice reading, listening, and talking every single day, if not 3 to 4 times a week. But seriously, there's so much music out there. I think for learning a language, that is the first place to start. It's the most fun. It's the most interesting, and it's a really good way to connect with the culture, from the ground. You're not going to get a lot of these real, true, current cultural experiences from so many textbooks, right? What's happening here and now is being expressed from different countries into song. You can find all of that on YouTube, transcribe it with genius, and study with Anki. Guys, I hope that this helped out a lot of people. I know this is a super weird time, but it's also, look at the positives and how much you can actually you can learn Just consider what you can do with all of this newfound time if you have it. So if you like this video, please subscribe. I'll do different videos like this, or just a like. If you guys like it, please leave some comments and feedback, because I want to know how I'm doing. I'm going to continue to try and experiment with different formats. This one was a little different, took a little longer, so I'd really appreciate some support. And I wish you guys the best of luck, the best of health, and the best of fun in your language journey. See ya!